Next, I'd like to invite Michele from the Indigenous Students, Indigenous Student Center. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And this is the clicker if you'd like to use it, or I can
put this
advance the
down.
slides for you. No, that's good.
I'll try. Is it on? I just press that.
Yeah, if you just, yeah.
Hi. So as you said, my name is Michele Graveline. I'm the Indigenous Student Advisor at the Indigenous Student Center. Just a bit about myself. I'm originally from Michele, from northern Manitoba, a place called Rawls Island. It's within Swampy Cree territory. I've been in this territory, however, for it'll be 23 years this fall. Actually, very soon, September, I think I moved. Huge adjustment to the weather for me. And so I'm very grateful to be able to work and support students here in this territory. So the center, The winch? Yeah. Okay. There. Okay, so just a bit of a background on the center. So Dal took it over in 2016. It is much older than that, though, and it moved around campus. If you've been on campus before and used the facilities, sort of a little bit of the history of it. The Confederacy of Mainland Mi'kmaq was the original sort of manager of it. They hired the advisor and so forth, and Dal just provided the space for them to work out of. And so the CMM still is a partner with the center and sits on an advisory committee out of the center. And so Dal did take it over and resumed managerial responsibility as well as hiring the advisor. So with that, they changed the name. We have a permanent location, hopefully, and that is always sort of the narrative. They've renovated it quite a bit. So we are part of the Student Affairs team, and you've probably had a bit of a rundown of what that looks like, so I won't stay too long there. This is the location. We are on the first floor of the Big Blue House on 1321 Edward Street. So you just walk down University towards Roby and you're there. Of course, you met Ronki. She's the Black Student Advisor upstairs, and we're on the main floor of the building. And the backyard is beautiful. I have a bad map there, but it just prompts me, I guess. So some of the things that we do at the center, of course, one-on-one advising. We do have some tutors that come in, writing, math tutor. I just got confirmation that's happening again. Not sure about study skills coach yet, but yeah, for sure those two. And they come and spend some time at the center, which is great. We do have computers. There's certainly Wi-Fi. Our lounge, we're having a large sort of boardroom table that seats 8, and a lot of times students just plop down there with their laptops, and it's a very community-oriented, sort of study time. Printing, unless you have documents that are, very large, I always tell law students, sorry, we can't print your 300-page document, you're gonna have to go to the print center. But we can manage other documents. We do have a full kitchen, which is amazing. We may have the only stove on campus, which is wonderful because we do a lot of cooking out of the center. We have Friday feasts, and that's the last Friday of the month, and that's open invitation to Indigenous students and faculty and staff. It's a great place to network and meet with Indigenous students right across Turtle Island. We do get a lot of students from the West, as well as a lot of students from this territory. We have an indoor smudging space. Not a lot of buildings can boast that. And we do have smudging supplies. You can also smudge in the backyard as well, but we do have some materials there if you need to just swoop in, smudge, and swoop back out. We have a lot of notifications that go out in a couple of different ways on community events, campus events, stuff going on in the center, financial awards information, and so forth. We do a fair bit of cultural programming, and that may be through the center. We have invited guests that come in, and so forth. And then, of course, the great backyard. These are the ways we sort of get information out at the moment. They may grow. I hear Instagram is the new sort of, people are leaving Facebook for Instagram in droves. I don't know if that's true, but younger folks tell me that. So we have several bulletin boards at the center, and they're sort of designated for different materials. Facebook, at Dalhousie's Indigenous Student Center, great place to find out information. If you are an Indigenous student, there is a DSU society, Dalhousie Indigenous Student Collective, and they have a page as well on Facebook, but you can, reach out to them if you want to get involved. And then I send out a monthly email the last Thursday of the month, and that usually has, a reminder for Friday Feast and various other things going on. So some calendar dates, because we've, we moved 3 times last year. This is my, I've completed 1 year in this job, and we moved 3 times. So we are back in the center, and it's really wonderful to be there, and we are waiting for some furniture still, so the housewarming is postponed until everything's settled and the art's up on the walls and so forth. If you're interested in doing some art for the center for the first couple of weeks, I'll have some supplies there. You can come down and create a piece that will get hung at the center. And just going back to that move, so yeah, we were on Seymour for a little while. They moved us out. So we have new windows, carpet, paint, the kitchen. We have a new bathroom that's accessible. Shelving in the computer lab. It's just a beautiful space. The Mawiomi, which is a big event. If you've been on campus before, you may have attended this in the past. So that's October 11th. Always looking for volunteers for that. If you are a dancer, sign up. Come to dance. If you are a drummer or singer, and you'd like to maybe do something at the Mawiomi, please reach out to me, and I'll put you on the agenda. This year we're going to do a Powwow 101 at the center, so that's just helping educate people around etiquette, what the different regalia, sort of how people can sort of distinguish different regalia. Friday Feast, there's all the dates, but those, it's the last Friday of the month, so it's easy to remember except for December 21st, because people will be leaving and going home. But it is the solstice. So there's just some pictures of the Friday Feast. Just the top one is in our center now, although that's been renovated, and then the bottom ones were when we were at Seymour, which was a nice house, much smaller, but so they're well attended, and we try to do, if we can get wild meat, we do that, but it's Indigenous sort of inspired food. We will be husking and dekerneling some corn on the 4th at the center in the afternoon, so if you're into that, looking for hands to do that. So this is just some images from the Mawiomi. And it's a lot of fun. Students from the schools, Child Development Center, they come around, so it's really in all ages. We feed you, and the drum is nice and loud right on the quad, is usually our spot. If it's raining that day, we go into the McGinnis room. D&D often brings their teepee. And so some of the recent changes, of course, I mentioned the renovations. We are hiring some other staff. We're going to have an administrative assistant in the center, which will support the Indigenous Student Center, the Black Advising Center, and the Elders and Residents program, which has recently moved into the center as well. Though it's an old picture of the elders, I'm not sure who the elders currently are that are in that program. That's sort of growing and being worked out as well. Always looking for volunteers. I really want to try and create a volunteer pool. I think volunteering is a really important part of our learning and our education and how we grow and develop as human beings. So always the Mawiomi, housewarming, when that'll probably be postponed till October. Friday feasts, always lots of cooking to do and cleanup. Recruitment events, so we host events for high school students, and then other events as needed. We're trying to design some volunteer vests, so that will be part of that volunteer pool. We'll be inputting on that as well. These are our sort of contact information. I also have an email, but that's generally how you can get a hold of us. And you can walk down to the center. Oh, sorry, Gwendolyn. All right, that's all I got. Congratulations, everybody.